You are turning in 10 minutes of BPTV News, brought to you by Binh Phuoc television station and newspaper. I'm the one with the latest news for today. Binh Phuoc present more than 2,200 gifts to workers. Binh Phuoc tax sector collects over 13,000 billion Vietnam dong in 2022. Prime Minister start official visit to Laos. Positive signals for rice exports in 2023. The Binh Phuoc Provincial Confederation of Labour worked with the Binh Phuoc Technical Infrastructure Development Joint Stock Company to hold the 3rd Reunion Spring Together 2023 program.
The Binh Phuoc Provincial Confederations of Labour worked with the Binh Phuoc Technical Infrastructure Development Joint Stock Company to hold the 3rd Reunion Spring Together 2023 program. The Provincial Confederations of Labour has actively coordinated with sectors and localities, especially the business community, to bring a joyful Tết to local workers. The province trade unions have offered more than 120,000 workers support, totaling nearly 38 billion Vietnam dong. They also visited and presented gifts to workers in difficult circumstances and offers free trips home for them to celebrate Tết with their families. The Provincial Party Committee, the People's Council, the People Committee, and the Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee of Binh Phuoc chapter also presented 2,000 gifts worth 1 billion Vietnam dong in total to workers in difficult circumstances. The Provincial Women's Union and the Provincial Confederations of Labour also gave 200 gifts, 300 state car tickets, and 30 trade union shelters to union members and workers. In addition to TED gifts, workers also had the chance to enjoy lion and dragon performances and other performances from the ethnic dance and music troupe of Binh Phuoc province and singers and artists from Ho Chi Minh City. There was also a lucky draw with many valuable prizes.
In the 2019-2022 period, Binh Phuoc mobilized over 386 billion Vietnam dong from the central and local budget, the Provincial Bank for Social Policies and Society to help ethnic minority households escape from poverty.
In the 2019-2022 period, Binh Phuoc mobilized over 386 billion Vietnam dong from the central and local budgets, the Provincial Bank for Social Policies and Society to help ethnic minority households escape from poverty. Poverty reduction, especially for poor ethnic minority households, has received special attention from Binh Phuoc province in recent years. From 2019 to 2022, the number of poor ethnic minority households in the province fell by 5,198, representing 129.8% of the target. Efforts in poverty reduction in ethnic minority areas still have some shortcomings and limitations. Among them is the ineffective use of resources in some places and the flawed review and update of poor households elsewhere. Binh Phuoc plans to remove an additional 1,000 poor ethnic minority households out of poverty this year. In addition to support from the province, localities and ethnic minorities also need to actively participate in production models, applying science and technology, as well as vocational training courses to reduce poverty in a sustainable way.
Ladies and gentlemen, Binh Phuoc province tax sector collected 13,228 billion Vietnam dong in 2022, reaching 120% of the estimate assigned by the Ministry of Finance and 101% of the adjusted estimate assigned by the Provincial People Committee, an increase of 7% over the previous year.
Binh Phuoc province tax sector collected 13,228 billion Vietnam dong in 2022, reaching 120% of the estimate assigned by the Ministry of Finance and 101% of the adjusted estimate assigned by the Provincial People's Committee, an increase of 7% over the previous year. Excluding land use levies, lotteries collections, and after-tax profit, revenues was 8,147 billion Vietnam dong, or 148% of the estimate assigned by the Ministry of Finance, and 119% of the adjusted annual estimate assigned by the Provincial People's Committee, of 19%. This success created momentum for the province economies to continue its positive growth, which ranks second in the Southeast region and 35th nationwide. The provincial tax sectors will synchronously implement tax management measures this year and strengthen inspections and control to prevent tax losses and tax evasion. At the same time, it will continue to review and reform tax administrative procedures, implement professional processes introduced by the General Department of Taxation, and strive to achieve and exceed the estimate of the Ministry of Finance of 13,372 billion Vietnam dong in collections.
President Nguyễn Phuoc on January 11th visited families of late leaders of the party and state in Ho Chi Minh City as the Lunar New Year or Tết holiday, the biggest festival of Vietnamese people in a year, is approaching.
Accompanied by leaders of the Southern Economic Hub, President Phuoc came to offer incense, paying respect to late party's General Secretary Nguyễn Văn Linh, late Chairman of the Council of State Võ Trí Công, and late President Lê Đức Anh. He took the occasion to acknowledge their significant dedication and contributions to the party, state, and people. On behalf of the party and state, Phuoc conveyed the best wishes to families of the late leaders as the Lunar New Year, the biggest festival of Vietnamese people in the year, is approaching. Also on the day, President Phuoc offered incense and led greets to pay tribute to late Presidents Ho Chi Minh and Tôn Đức Thắng at the Ho Chi Minh Museum's branch in the city.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính arrived in Vientiane on January 11 morning, beginning his two-day official visit to Laos at the invitation of his Lao counterpart, Sonasay Siphandone.
Right after arriving in Vientiane, Prime Minister Chính later breathed at a monument dedicated to Laos unknown martyrs in tribute to Lao people who sacrificed for the independence and freedom of the country, as well as for Vietnam's independence, freedom, and reunification. Lao Prime Minister Sonasay Siphandone then chaired an official welcome ceremony for Prime Minister Chính and the Vietnamese high-ranking delegation. This is the first official visit to the neighboring country by Prime Minister Chính and his first overseas trip this year. Prime Minister Chính is also the first foreign leader to visit Laos since Prime Minister Sonasay Siphandone took office. After the welcome, Prime Minister Chính held talks with his host counterpart Sonasay Siphandone, during which the two leaders discussed measures to further promote ties between the two countries in all fields. The two prime ministers agreed that in the time to come, they will work closely together to implement the Vietnam-Laos cooperation strategy for the 2021 to 2030 period and the bilateral collaboration agreement for the 2021 to 2025 period, as well as other side deals in all fields. Vietnam and Laos will continue to bolster economic partnership, supporting each other in post-pandemic recovery, socialist-oriented market economy building, and international integration, they stressed. Following the talks, the two prime ministers witnessed the signing of 10 cooperation agreements in various fields.
Vietnam exported nearly 7.2 million tons of rice worth $3.49 billion last year, including many shipments navigating demanding markets such as Japan and the European Union (EU).
The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development said the sales signaled that Vietnamese rice has gained better quality from choosing varieties for cultivation and standardization to meet requirements of each market. According to the Vietnam Food Association, thanks to jasmine and high-quality rice, Vietnam won a number of markets and recorded fast growth in demanding markets such as the US and the EU. The association forecast domestic rice exporters have a distinct advantage this year thanks to high rice prices and huge demand from China, the Philippines, and Africa. The Philippines, the biggest importer of Vietnamese rice, has decided to maintain import tax of 35% this year. Meanwhile, the second Vietnamese rice importer, China, will lift its zero-COVID policy and reopen its borders with Vietnam.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our bulletin today. To rewatch this news, you can download the BPTV Go or visit our website and YouTube channel. Now, thanks for staying with us and see you next time.